Hey guys, this is the UpgradedRotom, and today we're going to be doing a draft league analysis. And so for this draft league, I am part of the PAC Wi-Fi Standard Season 6, and I'm a little new to this, so sorry if my commentary is a little weird at the beginning. I'm going to try and get used to doing this. I just figured it'd be fun to document the process of me going through my first ever draft league. And so let's see. For my first pick in the draft, I wanted to go for Hisuian Samurott, but unfortunately that got taken in round, I think it was the second person? Yeah, it looks like it was the second person. Yeah, the West Texas Arcaniners. Um, so unfortunately, my first pick got sniped, but that is fine because I still got a pretty good one in Ursaluna. Now, Ursaluna is a Pokemon that's going to be amazing to use because of its ability Guts and base 150 stats, or oh no 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 not base 150. Sorry, it's got a total of 550 stats. It's got a base attack stat of 140, a base HP of 130, and a decent special defense stat in 80. So this Pokemon is going to be pretty bulky, along with really attack heavy, and it's got really good abilities in Guts and Bulletproof. Guts, of course, allowing it to take in Flame Orb sets and really put in the damage with a Stab Facade, and Bulletproof allowing it to be immune to moves such as Bullet Seed and Energy Ball, and allow you to kind of absorb those grass hits more. Um, my next pick in the draft was Corviknight, and when I chose Corviknight, I was thinking everybody's going to kind of just be choosing a Rapid Spinner. I'm going to go for a Defogger, and I figured Corviknight would be really good because it's a good Steel type just in general. It's got a base 105 defense stat, so Body Press sets with Roost and Iron Defense could be very viable. Uh, like I mentioned, it gets Defog, so getting rid of hazards are going to be really helpful. And yeah, I kind of just thought it was a cool Pokemon. Again, I'm kind of new to draft, so I'm not thinking too heavy into it right now, but just thought it would be fun to try out and see how it goes. Next up, I chose Rotom Wash for round 3. And Rotom Wash I got because I saw that it was a pretty well for fitting both a physical defensive set and a special defensive set while having really good special attack. The main thing that my first two picks had lacked. And plus two, from what I've seen of how this Pokemon works, it can be a pretty good Choice Scarf user. It can trick items that might not be wanting on your Pokemon to other Pokemon, and it can Volt Switch. It's got a really good water move and Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, that is the only one that it gets. But it also gets status in Thunder Wave and Will-O-Wisp, and that really made me want to choose it. And yeah, my next pick on the team is Hisuian Zoroark. Now, this Pokemon I am really excited to try because it is a glass cannon, which is unfortunate but fortunate at the same time due to its ability Illusion really playing into how viable this Pokemon could be during a battle. So I really want to pair this with Ursaluna because its normal and ghost type gives it 3 immunities in normal type moves, ghost type moves, and fighting type moves. And not two of those, one of those are super effective against Ursaluna. So I have a few strategies in mind that I am not going to say out loud right now, just in case I get to use them against my opponents who may be watching this video. If you are, hey! And so I have a few really cool strategies in mind with that kind of combo. And I'm really excited to try it out. And of course, mostly the main reason that that's going to be usable is the fighting type immunity that I can use, where Ursaluna is out on the field, they go for a fighting type move, but Psych, it's actually Hisuian Zoroark, and your fighting type move did nothing to me. Next up on the draft, I chose Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl I kind of chose because I was like, you know what, I need a fairy type. I hear those go by really fast, and there's not a lot of fairy types in Paldea in the first place. And Grimmsnarl also is amazing because it gets priority status moves with Prankster, so you can Thunder Wave, Reflect, Light Screen, all of that fun stuff first. And you also get Parting Shot, so there's, what's it called? You can switch out. You have a lot of momentum moves. Um, and its stats are pretty good too. It gets a good attack stat, but it can also be bulky at some points if you get like a what's the move, bulk up, or I don't know. I don't think this thing gets Calm Mind, but if it does get Calm Mind, you could technically do that too. Um, but yeah, I mostly just drafted this mon because I wanted Dragon Immunity and a good support Pokemon. Now the Pokemon after that, that I drafted, as I mentioned at the beginning, I unfortunately didn't get Hisuian Samurott, so I figured, you know what? Let's go for a different Hisuian starter, and I got myself Hisuian Typhlosion. And Typhlosion I got because I was kind of running low on speed. I didn't really have a lot of speed mons, and with a base 95 speed, I'd say that's pretty good. I can, especially with Choice Scarf Eruption, that's going to be huge. Another unique move that this Pokemon gets that I'm excited to test out is Infernal Parade, where it has the chance to leave my opponent burned, and when a Pokemon is statused, it does double the damage, kind of like Hex. And so I'm excited to try that out. Plus, that also pairs really well with Hisuian Zoroark itself, because now my opponent also has to think, is this Ghost-type Pokemon going to be immune to these Ghost-type moves? And if they are, then I can just switch out to Grimmsnarl, which is 4 times resisted. And at least that's my thought process on why I got Hisuian Typhlosion. Next up, I got myself Hisuian Chestnut. Just regular Chestnut. I got myself Chestnut. And my thought process for getting Chestnut was I originally wanted to get Hisuian Decidueye to kind of get a scrappy mon that hits hard. But unfortunately, Hisuian Decidueye was already taken. And so I saw this, and I was like, it's another grass fighting type. It's got really good bulk. It's got really good attack. And it can kind of play different fields. Seems like a really good fit for the team right now. And so, plain and simple, I saw it, I want it, I got it. And after that, I've gotten myself Slowbro Galarian. This guy, I had a few thoughts going in with him. He mainly is my grounded poison type. He's my way to get rid of toxic spikes without having to defog. But he is really good in the sense that he has the ability Regenerator, so every time I switch out, he still gets HP. Or he can run Quick Draw, so every turn I have a certain percentage of chance to go before my opponent, which was going to be really fun with Quick Claw sets too, stacking it on top of each other. Plus the move Shell Sidearm is pretty unique in the sense of it always hits the more offensive side. So if you're more physically defensive, I'm going to hit you with a special move. If you're more specially defensive, I'm going to hit you with a physical move. And so I think that's really interesting, where I can still use his great special attack to be able to hit from both sides of the defenses. So that's kind of what I was thinking with Slowbro. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff that I can use him for, but at least that was the main thought. After that, I figured, you know what? My team is really, really low on special defense. Let's get something to help with that. So I got myself Goodra. Goodra is amazing. It's got really good coverage and moves like Power Whip and Aqua Tail, and it even gets Poison Tail, which I didn't realize till recently. And it gets good Draco Meteors, and it's got a Grass-type immunity with Sap Sipper as its ability. It's, all in all, a really great Pokemon, especially with Assault Vest. And, like I mentioned, I needed a special defensively bulky Pokemon, so it kind of fit my bill. What can I say? Goodra is an amazing Pokemon. After that, I realized I was lacking in another kind of stat department, which was speed. So I looked at my options and I decided let's go for Paldean Tauros Blaze Breed. So I chose Tauros because its ability Intimidate also allows me to lower my opponent's attack every time I switch in, and if I don't run Intimidate, I can always run Anger Point with the chance of, like say my opponent has a Scope Lens on Hisuian Decidueye, they land a triple arrows and it gets that critical hit, then boom, my attack stat is raised to the max and I am faster than that thing. That is dangerous. And so it's really powerfully aggressive, and who doesn't love a powerhouse? Next up and last on my team is Galarian Articuno. Now, I mentioned it before, I did have a kind of special defensive weakness, and so I needed another mon that kind of fit that, and so Galarian Articuno kind of looked really good with that, and all in all, it's got also good special attack, and got decent speed for the rest of my team, and kind of just like a Pokemon to fill up a loose end. And plus, who doesn't love this design? Like, look at this. It's beautiful. So the unique thing about this draft is that we can terrestrialize our Pokemon into any type we need for the matchup. But the caveat for that is that Pokemon that are 12 points and under are the only Pokemon that can do that. So unfortunately, I can't terrestrialize my Ursaluna into just anything I want. However, the two mons that I ended up having my Terra Captains be were Tauros and Articuno. And that's mostly just because Articuno with a Terra type allows me to just keep that special defense around any type that I might need for the matchup, and Tauros is just a really good powerhouse and wall breaker, so if I really need something heavy to hit and do it hard, then that is my go-to Terra for the week. And yeah, that seems to be my draft. Hope you guys enjoy watching my team grow with me as I try to fight in the PAC. And if you have any comments or suggestions of what might be a fun set to run, leave it down in the comments. And I'm so excited to start this journey and can't wait to see where it takes us. Have a good one. Peace out.